So there are a couple of interesting perspectives on what it means to have good luck. And in this episode, I'm going to be asking the question, what does it mean when you get lucky? What does it mean when you have bad luck? How does that actually kind of apply to your life? Is just finding $20 on the floor, is that good luck, good fortune that's going to last a lifetime? These are the types of things, the types of issues I'm going to be going over in today's episode. I hope you enjoy it. It's a very interesting concept. It's an interesting idea about really what does luck actually look like. Does luck exist? That's even another thing that I'll be talking about today. So welcome back to the 365 podcast. Very quick intro today. Let's get right into the episode. I make a podcast episode every single day for 365 days. You will be hated for speaking the truth.
You definitely have like an X-ray goggles on where you can see someone's aura.
A house divided against itself shall not stand. Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. If you want to make something of yourself, forget your political beliefs. Because different believers experience God in different ways, different non-believers need different explanations to see God as real. Things that make you angry suck you in.
Satan's plan fails, right? And God's plan prevails.
So I'm sure at times you've heard some sayings similar to like, you can create your own luck, or you can kind of be susceptible to bad luck if you do something a certain way, or if you're kind of just living life in a certain way where you're susceptible to bad luck, or you're creating good luck. And you can hear some of these types of sayings, some of these sentiments, and it could be interesting. It's like, well, yeah, maybe, but like, well, what is luck, right? The question really is, what is luck? Like, is it even anything that exists? Like, if you're playing sports, let's say, because I'm a sporty guy, so I'm going to take a sporting example. Like, if you're playing soccer and you have an amazing shot, but it hits off the inside of the post and just goes out, right? That's a bit of bad luck because the wind could have carried it just a little bit further and it could have gone in, right? Sometimes the margins are that small in many different types of sports, right? So what's the difference between that type of a thing and like just pure actual luck, right? Like you can say, oh, that type of thing, there's no luck involved. It's just you missed the shot by an inch, right? It was, I guess it was unlucky, but it wasn't because of some spiritual thing in the universe. You can say that. You can say that for sure. But there's a concept relating to good or bad luck that kind of is related to your life, and it makes sense. It makes sense. So I'm going to try and break it down. First and foremost, let's just kind of resolve the question of, does luck exist? I think luck absolutely exists, right? Like if you find $20 on the floor, as I said, it's a lucky moment, right? You were lucky. It's like, wow, it's not going to make a huge difference in your life, but still fun. You get 20 bucks, 20 extra bucks if you can't, if literally it's just 20 bucks on the floor and there's no owner, it's yours, right? That's how I kind of look at it. So like that's lucky, right? I think luck as a concept exists. I think at times God himself is affecting us in this world and it looks like luck, but in reality it's actually God's hand working. You see it many times, like some crazy circumstance happens to someone, you call it just bad luck. Maybe you should actually call it God testing this person to see how big their faith is, right? And then if they can overcome those unlucky situations, they can then find the quote unquote good luck, which is God rewarding them for their kind of pursuits for their faith. So I think there's absolutely an aspect of this for sure, where a lot of it is like you're getting rewarded or you're getting punished in some way. The way God works in this world is very interesting, and I find that that's absolutely a part of it. Sometimes it kind of gets lost in the idea of just luck and superstition and all this stuff, but in reality, it's actually just God's hand helping you, moving you in a certain direction. But other times, especially with the more like feeble, small things, it's kind of hard to say, oh, God's affecting every single little thing. Right? For the grand scheme of your life, of course, God's going to be affecting it. But for the smaller things, how does luck kind of play? I think luck exists in these smaller things. But here's how you can create your own luck. I've been reading a book recently where in a chapter was talking about this idea of luck. How to get lucky, you have to take action. The more action you take, the more opportunities you seize, the more lucky you will get. But really, at that point, it's not even luck. You will earn it because there's, some hidden scale of ambition that will eventually break the door down for your life. Let's give the example of just money, right? if you have financial opportunities to make investments and try and grow your wealth, if you just kind of hold on and you're fearful and you don't get into any of these opportunities, you'll never grow your wealth, right? And you'll kind of be stuck exactly where you are. But if you jump into these opportunities, sometimes they will fail and sometimes it won't work out. But if you keep going and you keep taking those risks, eventually one will pay off, and most times you only need one. And then everyone will look at you and say, oh, he got super lucky. But reality is, it wasn't luck. It was because you just kept taking action. You kept seizing opportunities. And that is the key point here. This is how you create your own luck. It is by taking control of the opportunities. When you find an opportunity in your life, regardless of what situation it is, if it be financial, if it be career, if it be schooling, whatever it may be, to try and help you move forward in your life, you should take the opportunity without hesitation. And you will be rewarded with, quote unquote, good luck. Because eventually something will happen. There's always a story of someone who took a big risk in some regard in their life, and then maybe it didn't work out, and then another door opened up, and then when they were telling the story about how that door opened up, a lot of people will kind of come to them and be like, well, yeah, you just got lucky. Like not everyone is going to have a mentor that comes in and gives you the perfect financial opportunity to make great wealth, for example, right? Not everyone's going to have that. And while that may be true, the reason why the person, this theoretical example, he found a person to help him out. It was in the book I was reading. That's why I'm kind of quoting this thing. Is because he had the ambition. Is because he was looking for the opportunities. And when he was looking for it, he found it, right? Jesus himself says, seek and you shall find, knock and it shall be opened, right? And a lot of people maybe look at that quote in a different lens, but reality is, there is this hidden law, which is, if you're looking for the opportunities, you'll find it, right? If you're looking for the good, you'll find the good. If you're looking for the bad, you'll find the bad. It's about where you're focused on, what you're looking towards. And if you're ambitious, if you're looking for those opportunities and you jump on the opportunities when you find them, you're willing to take the risks, you will be rewarded for that risk taking with good luck, right? And people will look at it as good luck. But in reality, there was a lucky factor to it because you found the situation that worked, that helped you move forward in your life. But it could have been a very lucky circumstance, right? But that kind of came up because of your willingness, your ambition to find it, and it was there, and it worked out, right? And kind of similarly, subsequently, it's the same thing with bad luck. You're more susceptible to bad luck if you're kind of staying exactly where you are. I'll give you another sports example because I'll talk about baseball this time. It's like baseball is a very, very superstitious sport, right? It's very, very like you have a routine. You do something. If you hit a home run, you keep doing that thing until you don't hit a home run, and then you do something else, right? I feel like that type of stuff can kind of get a little bit dumb. But what is true is, if you're in a game and you don't score any runs, let's say, offensively you're dry, you're not really doing much. That's kind of where the Blue Jays are at right now in this current part of the season, because that's obviously my team. I'm from Toronto, if you didn't know. When you only score one run, or you don't score any runs, or you score 2 runs, that's when you're susceptible to bad luck. And that happened where literally they couldn't actually, they weren't doing well offensively. So then defensively, there was just a bad bounce, an unlucky situation that happened, right? Guy bunts it, then steals a base, and then a base hit, and he scores, and you lose the game. It's something as scrappy and as just kind of annoying as that can make the difference in a game, because you didn't do what you needed to do on the other side. So you're more susceptible to the bad luck, the wind, the ball getting lost in the lights, and then the outfielder dropping it, something like that. And the Blue Jays, it's happened quite a few times where it was just some crazy circumstance that unfortunately led to them losing a lot of games where they probably should have won, because they kind of were not controlling what they were able to control. So therefore, they were more susceptible to bad luck, and they lost those games as a result. That is also incredibly true for your life. Similarly to how if you look for opportunities, you take the action, you will find things that will make you lucky. If you sit back, you stay still, you stay stagnant, you're more susceptible to bad luck. And the bad luck could just be some sort of a medical emergency where you have to spend money, or some sort of emergency of some kind where you have to spend money, your car breaks down or something like that, and you have to kind of spend money to buy a new one or rent one or whatever it may be, right? If you're tight, like I'm just going to give financial examples because that's more so what the book was talking about that I've been reading. The book, if you want to know, is called, what was it? I don't even remember what it's called. The Richest Man in Babylon. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, which is basically a bunch of old Babylonian parables, which are very, very similar to situations that actually happen today. But those lessons actually apply today, and that's why the person who wrote the book. It's very interesting because it's talking specifically about money, but of course it can apply to any aspect in your life. I'll give the example of money, where it's like if you're stressed financially, you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you're not really doing anything to change your circumstance, you're more susceptible to something going wrong. And if one thing goes wrong, it messes you up completely. You're already barely surviving. One thing goes wrong, one big problem, car breaks down, medical emergency, you're done, and you're going to kind of sink into a deeper financial hole. It's bad luck, but because you're not being proactive and diligent, you are kind of more susceptible to it, right? If you're proactive, you're diligent, you're taking action, you're more it's more of a chance that you will get lucky, right? That's how that works. And I think that is absolutely true. So I think that is the way luck as a concept works. And that is how I see it, at least. I see it as God is providing you things. He's giving you good luck, bad luck based on how you act and what you do. And I think that makes sense, and it ties directly into this idea that if you take action, you're going to have a higher chance of getting lucky. But if you don't take action, you're going to have a higher chance of being unlucky. And then the luck is basically the end point of your decision making, basically. Is if you keep going, you keep persevering, eventually you'll get lucky, right? Maybe it'll take time. It might not happen immediately. It might take years. It might take a lot of failures first, but you only need one moment of good luck, and then things will multiply, right? Financially, that's usually how it works. It only takes one good investment to 10x your money and multiply, and then from there you can build. But maybe you lose a lot of money. Maybe you go back down to zero multiple times first, and it's a tough reality to accept because it's hard to kind of it's hard, right? Of course, it's a hard thing, but to be the type of guy that will be successful, whether financially, whether in a career, whatever it may be, whatever the thing you're looking for, you can get lucky. I'll give another example that's not financial, just so that you can kind of kind of see where I'm coming from, right? Let's go like just relationships, right? If you're trying to find a girlfriend, let's say, right, and you're just like and let's say like you're walking up to people and you're talking to people and you're asking girls for their numbers and complimenting them, catcalling, whatever it may be, right? Pickup lines type of thing. You're trying to find someone to go on a date with, basically. If you're just going to if you're not doing any of that and you're just going to sit there and expect to find a girlfriend out of the blue, it's not going to happen, right? It's not going to happen. That's how it works. But if you're out there, you'll probably get rejected a bunch of times. You'll probably, a lot of them will maybe insult you perhaps a bunch of times. But if you can keep going, the more you take action, eventually you'll find someone where you'll go out with, and maybe eventually you'll find someone that you can be with for a long period of time and have a long relationship with. Eventually, you will get lucky. And maybe you get lucky in the sense that your perseverance eventually places the girl that you want in your eye line, and then that is how you make it happen, right? Like, the luck is the fact that you're walking on the street, or you're in the gym, or you're in whatever social event situation that you're in public, basically, and you two cross paths, right? That is the luck, the fact that the chance that happened. But you're increasing the chance that luck will happen, that you'll find that one, if you're the type of person to go out and talk, right? And talk and try and pick up girls in that way. You're only going to increase the chance that you do find someone. Whereas if you're not doing anything, it's not going to happen. I think that's a solid explanation, that it's like taking action is the ultimate way to achieving good luck. Because at the end of the day, most of the time it's not even because you're lucky, it's because you're persistent. But sometimes a situation that is lucky comes onto you and you're blessed with it because of the fact that you're persistent. And then that allows you to kind of move forward, build things in your life. But it's the exact same thing for bad luck. You're more susceptible to it if you don't control what you can control. If you don't go out there and make the change and seize those opportunities and actually make it happen and look for the things and take those risks, right? If you don't do any of that, you're going to be more susceptible to one thing going wrong and messing up a lot of things in your life, giving you more unnecessary stresses that you could have avoided had you been more persistent and diligent with things. In the Bible, in the Proverbs, it talks a lot about being lazy and slothful versus being diligent and persistent and actually getting things done. The person who works deserves to enjoy the fruits of his labor, and that is absolutely true, right? But if you're just kind of going to continue onward in the same path that you're on, you are only going to be more susceptible to something going wrong. But if you take those risks, you seize those opportunities, things will go right. And that is where luck kind of plays in. And that is my personal thought on luck. I think it makes a lot of sense. This is obviously a concept talked about in the book that I'm reading. But as I think about obviously my Christian values, some words from the Bible, the way God, like the quotes in how God manages us, I think it makes sense. A lot of it is God giving us things, whether it be tests and pains to test our faith, or good things, great blessings because we proved our faith. But there's some things in between for sure that is just the kind of messy middle of the world of circumstance, of chance, and things you cannot control that happen to you either good or bad. And I think that is the way where luck plays in. And sometimes you can just be unlucky, right? You could be persistent, you could seize opportunity, you can be unlucky. But eventually you will get lucky. The point is, you might still be unlucky for a long period of time, even if you're the type of person that's taking risk, looking for opportunities. But if you kind of let that bring you down and then you kind of stop doing that, you're only guaranteeing that whatever unlucky things happen to you are going to keep happening to you. Whereas if you keep going, eventually, again, it only takes one thing, one breakthrough to be lucky, right? It only takes one interaction with the girl to find a girl that you can be with for a long time. It only takes one good investment, one lucky moment, or one lucky interaction with someone to have a good investment to actually build yourself financially. And then you can build from there, and you can truly grow from there. But that is how you can be lucky. How you can be lucky is by controlling what you can control, by taking action yourself. And if you don't do that, you're only increasing the risk of bad luck. I've given sporting examples, I've given financial examples, I've given relationship examples. And I hope that kind of suffices. I hope that gives you an idea of how this works. It is like a hidden law of the universe. It really is. Like, through your action, you can create the luck. And that is how you create the luck. But through your lack of action, you can kind of create the bad luck, really, or open the door for it at least. So that is that. That is my point for this episode. If you want to be lucky, right, you want to achieve good things in your life, you want to open the door to something that will make you lucky, that will give you that good fortune, that can truly help you good in your life, not just like the $20 on the floor thing, actual real good fortune that lasts a lifetime. It is through your own action, and that is the way the world works. I truly do believe that. So thank you for watching this episode. I hope that you go out there, you take some action, you move forward in your life, and hopefully you will get very lucky. So thank you for watching this episode of the 365 Podcast. I appreciate you for being here and for watching the full episode. As always, show your support in any way that you can. Like the video, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify, leave a comment, letting me know what you thought of the episode. Let me know when was the last time you were lucky and what led to that luck for you. And again, that's all I say. Continue taking action in your life and you will find that you will get very lucky. If you don't take action, you will find that you're going to be more unlucky than not. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I end this episode and I sign off the way I always do. Continue to glorify God through your life every day. As always, I will see you tomorrow for the next one.